I want to take a little time to talk about Soundmap, this music trading game that honestly used to be one of my favorites, but lately I've noticed something that's been bothering me. Playing Soundmap doesn't feel the same anymore. If I had to compare it to something, it's like playing one of those games where the quest starts out feeling fresh and interesting. At first you're excited, but after a few rounds of the same task over and over again, it just feels like busy work. Like, why am I even doing this?
How? How did they think that was okay to even put it in the game? I'm so sick of this fucking company. The trash! Fix the game! It sucks playing the shit! And I'm fucking addicted! So I can't quit!
You know the feeling, right? When you're all hyped up about a game at first, you're chasing those first few thrills, getting good stuff, discovering new things, but after a while, you start to see through the mechanics. It's like the magic fades. That's kind of where I'm at with Soundmap right now. What used to be engaging is becoming annoying. Let me give you an example. When I open the game these days, I immediately think, what's the point of opening these drops? I mean, seriously, if nothing good is going to come out, why am I spending my time on this? Sure, they have epics and recently they've added these exclusive songs, but here's the problem. Epics are practically mythical. They're so rare, you could play for weeks and not see one. And those exclusives, well, they're only tied to special artist events like the Rex Orange County event that happened recently. So unless you're participating in those very specific events, it's unlikely you'll snag one. And then there are shinies, rare shinies to be specific. Those are supposed to be one of the most exciting things to collect, right? But again, the odds are ridiculously low. It's like you're working so hard for what feels like a rewardless grind. Have you ever had the feeling of chasing something in a game only to realize it's almost impossible to get? It starts to feel like the game is dangling a carrot in front of you that you'll never actually reach. This brings me to my next point, how the game's rarity system has lost its excitement. When I first started playing a rare song felt amazing. There was a sense of accomplishment, but now it's like, oh cool, a rare again. There's no rush of excitement anymore, and it's made worse by the fact that nobody really cares about these common, uncommons, or even rare songs anymore, unless it's a shiny, an epic, or an exclusive. Think about it. How often do you see someone asking for a common or rare song in trade these days without any coin? It's rare. The only real interest lies in super rare items. It's like the whole point of collecting and trading has shifted, and not in a good way. I feel like this shift has devalued the core concept of Soundmap. Originally, it was about finding songs you love, trading with others to build a collection that reflected your taste. But now it's more about hoarding the highest rarity items just for the sake of having them. Speaking of trading, let's talk about how slow and tedious the process has become. When I first started playing, trading was the heartbeat of the game. You'd list your songs for trade, check out what others were offering, and you'd find matches fairly quickly. It was exciting to see what you could get in return for one of your rare songs, or even for a common track that someone else wanted for their collection. But now, trading has become a chore. I'll put up a few songs for trade or sale, and then nothing. I wait and wait and wait some more. Hours go by before anyone even looks at what I've listed, and when someone finally does ask for a trade, it feels like an eternity before we can finalize anything. I'm not saying I need instant trades, but the pacing has slowed down so much that it's no longer fun. And here's something else. I've noticed that a lot of people aren't even serious about trading anymore. Have you seen how some players list songs for trade, but they're not actually looking for a trade? It's like they're just showing off their collection, or maybe they're just waiting for someone to offer something insane for a song that's not even for sale. It's frustrating because it clogs up the trading system. You think you're about to make a deal, but no, they're just flexing. It makes the whole trading experience feel shallow. This brings me to the new mechanic the developers have introduced. I have to say, these have been hit or miss for me, mostly leaning towards miss. Let's start with the flip and wheel spin mechanic. On the surface, they seem like fun, little minigames. You flip a card or spin a wheel hoping to win something cool. But here's the thing, the outcome is already predetermined before you even interact with it. So the animation, it's just a waste of time. It's there to make you think you have some kind of control or influence over the result, but you don't. And the wheel, it's worse, because sometimes it makes you look like you've won something amazing, but then you didn't. It's the kind of thing that leaves you frustrated. And what are the chances of winning something really good, like a shiny? Slim to none. You could spin the wheel 100 times and the odds of getting something you actually want are incredibly low. So over time you start to wonder if these mini games are even worth playing. For me, they've lost their charm. Then there's the prediction mechanic. This is where you're given a list of artists, and you have to guess whether they'll get more or fewer streams than their weekly average. It's a cool idea in theory, and for a while there was this neat little trick with 3 specific artists that had the same answer every week, so you could pretty much guess correctly every time. That was fun while it lasted, but now the thrill is gone. The mechanic is just okay, but it's something special. And then there's the Ox Battle. This one really had potential. The idea is simple. You're given a question prompt, something like choose an underrated song from your collection, and you pick a song that you think best fits the question. Sounds good, right? But here's where it goes wrong. The game pits you against another player who received the same prompt, and the winner is determined by other players' votes. Here's the catch. Those votes are heavily biased. If you don't have a Frank Ocean song, a popular hip-hop track from someone like Cardi or Kanye, or a meme song like something from SpongeBob, you're probably going to lose. It's less about picking the best song for the prompt and more about having the cool song that the player base likes. It feels rigged in a way, and it takes away from the original concept of a fair battle between collections. Let's talk about the most significant problem facing Soundmap right now: bots and cheaters.
L excuses, right hand on the Bible. God can strike me down if I'm lying. That motherfucker's cheating! Take my word!
This issue affects everyone, but especially new players. Here's how it works. People are using bots to scan other players' collections, even songs that aren't up for sale. So imagine you're a new player, you've just pulled your first epic song, you're excited, but you don't really know how rare or valuable it is. Then some shady player comes along and offers you a terrible trade, but since you don't know any better, you accept. Now that player has your epic for next to nothing. It's a horrible feeling and it's unfair. What's worse is that these bots snatch up rare songs before regular players even get a chance to see them in the trading tab. The whole system feels broken. You're left wondering how many rare songs you've missed out on because some cheater scooped them up before you even had a chance. The problem is, I don't think the developers have a good way to catch these cheaters. It's not like they can easily track every trade or see when someone's using a bot. So, what happens instead? People start accusing each other of cheating without proof. It's like a witch hunt and it's tearing the community apart. No one knows who to trust, and the kind of environment isn't good for the long-term health of the game. Let's not forget the introduction of gems and gem loot boxes. This, in my opinion, was one of the most controversial changes to happen to Soundmap. Gems are now the new in-game currency, and you use them to buy shiny loot boxes for 10 gems. You can choose the genre of the song you want, but the artist still a gamble. Then there's the epic loot box, which lets you choose the artist, but the price starts at 40 gems and can go up to 60, depending on how popular the artist is. This pricing system led to one of the biggest controversies in the game's history, pretty much the Goosey controversy. For anyone who missed it, here's the gist. Goosey is a top player and a mod known for his massive Frank Ocean collection. He got in touch with the developer Potair and convinced them to raise the price of shiny loot boxes for certain artists, particularly Frank Ocean. Why? Because Goosey didn't want the value of his own collection to drop. Naturally, the community was outraged. People felt like Potair was catering to the rich, elite players at the expense of the average user. Goosey's response only made things worse. He called the player base brokies and mocked anyone who didn't have millions of coins like he did.
You fat, you ugly, and you broke. Okay. We all rich over here.
The backlash was huge, and Potair eventually issued an apology, saying he messed up by listening to Goosey, but the damage was done and it left a bitter taste in everyone's mouth. Goosey was temporarily banned, which I think is fair. He's young, probably 14 if I remember right, or something like that. So I get that people make mistakes at that age, but if he pulls something like this again, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets permanently banned. So where does this leave the game now? Honestly, I kinda miss the old Soundmap. Before coins and gems became the main focus, the games felt more pure. It was about finding and trading songs you like, not just hoarding currency. It wasn't perfect, but it had heart. Now, it's hard to say where things are headed. Some players love the new system of buying and reselling songs, and if that's your thing, more power to you. But for me, it's lost some of the magic. I'll still play, but not as much as I used to. At the end of the day, all I can hope for is that Soundmap continues to grow and improve. I want it to thrive because there's something special about the core idea of trading music. Here's hoping the developers listen to the community and make the right changes. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to talk about. I did leave some stuff out, like the Discord. I heard the Discord has been pretty bad. There are also other people that have been accused of using bots, such as Nancy, who I believe is Goosey's friend. They were accused of using bots too because they were caught posting on Reddit asking how these bots were being made. And that wasn't a good look, considering their friend just got caught, you know, manipulating the whole gem currency thing for artists and stuff. So all around, just like a bunch of stuff going on that I didn't cover. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. Sorry it took so long for me to make this video. You gotta remember, this is, you know, a hobby for me. But if you guys have something you'd like me to talk about, you know, leave it in the comments. Leave what your opinions are about the app itself in the comments. You know, what do you guys think about it? Where's it heading? You know, other stuff that I might not know. You know, leave that all in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I'd just like to hear the community. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll see you guys later.